Hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Game Pass Grab Bag, your weekly podcast reviewing games from the Game Pass collection, bringing you three unique perspectives from varying skill range. I still screw that intro up. I am the one who unfortunately remembers too much. Andrew, with me, the one we wish we all could forget, Keith.
Hey, guys.
And the one who forgets everything, Liz.
Accept your mistakes. Hey, guys.
Nice.
Of course. And so this week we played Disney Dreamlight Adventures.
Nope.
That name is also a mouthful.
That is
Yes,
also
Liz?
Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Dreamlight Valley. I remember
Andrew's on a roll tonight.
the side quest. Liz actually got it
Tonight
right. I
we're
got it
playing
wrong.
Pac-Man.
So if you've made it this far, please don't stop the episode, because I know if I was any of you, I would be like, Disney game, not interested, not going to listen to this episode. But I'm telling you, this game actually has some value to it. We ended up doing this episode because we said in our side quest episode, me and Liz originally downloaded this for our daughter, and we ended up playing way too much of it. So we're like, well, we got to do an episode for this now. So we decided to do, Disney Dreamlight Valley Adventure. Did I do it right?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So we played a Disney game. How about, I'm just going to go with that. And this is brought to you by Gameloft. Do you guys recognize Gameloft at all?
The
Nope.
intro looked familiar. I don't remember who.
Yeah, because this is their first console game. They have made like over 50 mobile games. As far as I can see, this is their very first console game. They're generally a mobile game company. And yeah, they've done Disney properties before, so I guess Disney gave them the go ahead to do a console game. But before we get into this, so I was not turned on to Disney because I'm probably going to anger a lot of people here because Disney's kind of this weird company that people will like adamantly fight for. But I am not a fan of Disney. I don't think they're a very good company, so I generally don't care for Disney property stuff. I know of them, but I was very about this. How do you guys like Disney? I know Keith's a huge Disney nut. You worked for him at one point.
See, it's funny. The thing is, I have a very love-hate relationship with Disney. Because you're right. Many years ago in my youth, I went and I did their little college internship program. I worked in the parks. I was basically just a minimum wage, easy labor. So I got to see a lot of the not fun parts of Disney, but
where the magic doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I had free entry to the parks, and I think I went a total of like 6 times in the 6 months that I was there, which is still a lot for going to Disney. Anyways, so I've worked there. My family, huge Disney family. I never really cared for it. I don't like lines. I don't like people around me too much. A lot of the things about Disney turn me off. I like Disney properties, though. I love Pixar movies. I grew up watching Disney movies. I've always liked Disney movies, the music, all of it. So I like Disney. I don't always like Disney World. But now I have kids, and now we do Disney World, and I kind of love Disney World with them. So a little bit of love-hate, but it is definitely more on the love side of things, I guess. And we had just come back from Disney when I started playing this game, so like all the Disney music in the background was like, oh, little nostalgia.
For me, like, I grew up watching some Disney, but I wasn't too crazy about it. Like, I liked some of the stuff, but I always wanted to be like my big brother, and he didn't watch Disney. So when I was like super little, like I was all into Walker Texas Ranger. I didn't care about Disney. And then but there are some Disney movies or whatever. But yeah, I think it's interesting because I've known people who, like, obviously their families are wealthy, but they would go to Disney every single year.
Yeah,
they were
I've
obsessed.
Never been.
Yeah, I grew up poor.
Same here.
We went camping and we thought it was the best vacation in the world. And then, I remember we went to this place in Maine and they had this, like, candy place that had, like, every candy you could imagine, and we thought it was the weirdest thing ever. And, those were our vacations, was camping.
Yeah, I've always kind of wanted to go, but yeah, we were too poor as well.
But I've heard a lot of bad things about Disney.
Yeah.
And so for me, like, I watch it. Andrew had me watch WALL-E recently. And, like,
it's because this game, out of all the Disney things that are going on in this game, every time I saw WALL-E, I'm like, dang, I really want to watch that movie again.
I had never seen it. I told you, like, I think WALL-E's really cute. And he's like, you have to watch the movie. And I did. And my heart can't, like, take that level of cuteness. Like, it just can't.
Oh, okay. When you said your heart can't take, I was going to ask you if you've seen Up.
Oh my god!
Oh
it's like
my
the
goodness.
saddest movie in the world. We've talked about that, haven't we? I think that's been on a previous episode.
Possibly.
Wait, was it Kubo?
Yep.
Oh, I actually haven't
Disney
seen
movie?
No,
Kubo,
it's
but
not.
I've heard that is an excellent movie.
It is.
Well, get out of
know,
here, Kubo, because it's not Disney.
But I'm with you, Keith. Like I try not to give Disney my money because I don't think they're a great company, but I love their properties. Like I enjoy Marvel. Not so much this last phase. This last phase has kind of been meh. I love Star Wars, but once again, most recently, I'm not too crazy about Star Wars. But for me, I love Pixar. I think Pixar does fantastic movies. So like, I know of Disney and I know a lot of these characters, and so I was like, I highly doubt I'm going to enjoy this game. It's just going to be whatever. But let's get into it. Gamer Pass going around now. I guess since I already started this transition, for me, this was surprisingly a game. We've done relaxing games, and this is like honestly probably one of the best ones. Because, so like I said, I originally downloaded this for my daughter, but I'm also going to get into this. I do not think this game's meant for kids. It's a game that's kind of designed to look like it's for kids, but it's clearly like aimed for people our age. And it's supposed to rope you in. It's supposed to have your kids go, hey, Dad, let's try this game out. And then the parent plays it and they go, holy crap, this is actually fun. I want to keep playing this. And yeah, Gameloft did a great job with it. This was surprisingly very addictive. Very little consequences. So if I gave my controller to my daughter, I wouldn't be afraid of her messing things up, because even if she threw stuff on the ground, I could just pick it back up later. So yeah, I was very surprised how much I enjoyed this game and how many hours I put in it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I was definitely a little bit more, I guess, optimistic or interested in it, and I think that goes back to our general Disney interest levels. I thought, okay, this could be kind of neat. Like, it's not just like Disneyland Adventures. So I for my stepdaughter, gotten her into Disneyland Adventures, loves that game, runs around Disney, does all the stuff. Now I thought, oh, Dreamlight Valley, this will be kind of cool. More characters, more modern characters, because she's grown up watching a lot of the Pixar movies, much like your daughter, I assume, and these just newer characters. So I thought this would be really cool. But the thing that stood out to me, and why like you said, not really for kids, there's no good enough dialogue. It's all words. But anyways.
All text.
I guess I digress. Ultimately, this is absolutely a game. I enjoyed it. I really, really liked my time with it. The only thing I can say, and it's how I used to describe World of Warcraft, this game is Disney Dreamlight Valley is probably the most fun you'll ever have being bored. There's nothing exciting about it whatsoever.
That's a great description.
I love that.
But my goodness, I just kept going and going, and it's hard to stop. So there's something about it, and so I love it, but I honestly don't know quite why. I think other than some Disney love, but
yep.
So I'll leave it at that and pass it off to you, Liz.
See, I think I'm leaning more towards Keith. My opinion actually changed a little bit. It's a little bit more negative than Keith's. And it's funny because I've been raving about this when we've been doing the podcast. Like, there was a game that I was like, I wanted to just play Disney.
Yeah.
Like, I was putting so many hours into it. I was obsessed. And then all of a sudden, I hit a wall. Like, it just happened. Something usually, like, you start getting a little bored with things. No, I just didn't want to play anymore. And then this was a couple weeks ago. We were trying to get ahead, and then we didn't. And so I'm like, oh, I need to go back into it because we're going to record now. Still sick of it. I don't, like, for me, like, I think it's like it's like a one-layer game. You know what I mean? And so for me, like, I've played a lot of games that have, like, farming and fishing and all, like, the different aspects of, like, that. And this one, you don't upgrade, you don't layer. There's not layers to this game.
Yeah.
And so for me...
No, you unlock biomes.
No, you do, but then there's barely anything in that biome. It is a
agree.
large game, but it feels tiny.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna give it a game, but really it's just a game for the first like billion hours that I put into it.
Yeah, after 100 hours, it is not worth your time.
This game sucks after 100.
They're gonna keep adding to it though, so it's like they want you to keep playing, but it's just like.
Yeah, so that's a good point. This game still is in-game preview. It is essentially done. I don't know when it's not going to be in preview, because it's clearly meant to be a ongoing, growing game of adding more Disney properties. And so, like, you see the Disney castle that you get to go in, and you can go to, obviously, the different Disney worlds. At the moment, there's Ratatouille, Frozen, Moana, and I think one more, Wally. But, like, and that's it. but there's actually like 100 doors in this castle. But at the moment, there's only like 5 worlds you can go to. So this game is clearly meant to be added onto.
Okay, so those don't open up for you. I was curious about that.
No. But let's get into the story here. So the story, very generic, and this is the story right off the bat is how I could already tell this game was not meant for kids, because you create your character, which how'd your character turn out, Keith?
Mine's actually whatever Liberty designed. I passed her off.
Yeah, our daughter designed ours too.
So mine's a female. It's kind of just an evolving, but she's a normal lurking person.
Yeah. So you start as this character. You can't change your age. So your character looks like they're maybe late 20s, maybe early 30s. You worked in a city job and you said, I'm sick of this and I'm going back home to my house in the country. And you find your old Disney toys and fall asleep at your house and then wake up in this valley that's being overrun by these thorns called the Forgetting. The story is not subtle. I found this story very easy and predictable.
What's not subtle about it? I'm not, it sounds like a kind of a weird twist of you waking up in this dream world. I don't follow what you're saying.
And the thorns are called the Forgetting, and we used to have a king or queen that used to rule this valley, but they disappeared.
So what is the obvious story, Andrew? I didn't get to the end. Can you
I don't want to
explain it to
spoil
me?
it.
I'm not following.
But like the story to me was honestly. At first, I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of interesting. But I got quickly bored. I enjoyed talking to the Disney characters. Like every Disney character you're going to obviously forgets what's going on. And you're trying to help them piece things together. They had, lives essentially before this all happened. And it's also kind of nice, too, because obviously these Disney characters are interacting with other Disney characters. So it's kind of fun to have these stories of like Mickey trying to, hang out with Maui and stuff like that. I enjoyed kind of these side stories. But overall, I did not care for this game's story. It was, to me, just so not subtle that it was just no intrigue. Any twist that happened, I was like, oh, I thought that was obvious. I thought like that was something like it was like told at the beginning of the cutscene.
I didn't know there was any twists. I thought it was pretty straightforward and pretty obvious. Yeah.
What? That twist when you found out that you were the king or queen before? Wait, that didn't catch you off guard?
You yell at me about spoilers all the time.
Wait.
It was so that was not a surprise.
Gosh, I thought you were inheriting this from your dead uncle. Oh wait, no, sorry, that's Stardew Valley. My bad. Wrong valley.
I know, or no, every other farming sim out there.
I do want to say though
your
that
dead uncle owned Disney. Sorry.
I do want to say though that like I did like the characters' stories. Like so for instance, like Minnie is kind of just like a ghost kind of and he can't really communicate with her and he desperately wants Minnie and it's so cute. And then something that melted my cold heart. Minnie, she was talking about how like because you have villains there like Ursula and then it's Rapunzel's mom. Is that who it is?
Yeah, Mother Gothel. Mm-hmm. She's technically a captor. Like she says she's her mom, but she's actually just a random woman that captured her. And
Minnie was talking about how she thinks it's great that the villains are there because they can see the good in the villagers and that maybe that they'll turn good. And it was like it's something along those lines. And it was so cute. And Minnie, like I always wanted to hang out with her because she was just so positive, such a little ray of sunshine. And so for me, it was hard to switch characters sometimes because you have some for like that give you extra things if you farm or mine or whatever. And yeah, Minnie just like I just loved her.
Well, so if I can actually jump on that for a bit here.
We give you permission.
Thank you. Well, because I'm kind of just going to skip past story because I think we've covered story. I think we can touch on it here and there as we go, but I think we've pretty much covered the story. Other than, well, now that they've done it, what's the point of unlocking all of these new characters? But anyways, really, as far as like the gameplay, I have two, quality of life things. I didn't want to have to pick my character's specialties. One, because there's no easy way to keep track of who's what. And I was like, am I stacking too much of one thing, another thing, whatever it may be? And two, all of these characters are so unique that one of the, like, I tried to match them up to what their personality is as far as their character goes. They should have just done that for me. You know what I mean? Like, Moana should just naturally have the enhanced fishing. You shouldn't have to be able to pick that for her. Like, why would I pick mining for Moana? It doesn't make sense. She should just be the fisher bird. Fisher.
But it's also weird.
You played wrong, Keith. I'm telling you now. Go ahead, Liz.
Oh, I probably was supposed to stack all just one skill or something.
Yeah.
It's also weird going back and forth when you're constantly doing different things. Like for me, like I wasn't just farming for a really long time. I'd farm, then hop to fishing, then hop to mining, because a lot of things, like if you have a quest for somebody, a lot of times it's like get these flowers, get these mining resources. So for me, like I never went by what the person would do for me, like give me more things. I would just pick someone and level them up, because no matter what, you're leveling them up along the way. They just give you less resources.
Well, so question, because I didn't catch this until maybe a day or two ago when I was playing it. It was like a tooltip, I think, on a load screen. And it was something along the lines of, and I think this is what you were getting at, Andrew, are those levels cumulative across characters? Like, if I have 5 people at mining and they are all level 5, I have level 25 mining for all of them.
No.
Okay, never mind then.
Well, we should also, actually rewind a little bit, because we never actually explained to people what the gameplay is.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Stardew Valley with Disney.
Yes. Thank you, Keith. Yeah, it's a third-person farming management simulator. You, like I said, go into this valley. You have a dilapidated house, like any sort of simulator. You have to upgrade your house. You have to upgrade the village. You have to clear out the village of thorns and rocks and whatnot, and essentially help the villagers. You know, a very typical management type of game. But yeah, with each Disney character that you're unlocking, you essentially ask them, hey, do you want to hang out? And all they do is just follow you around and look at you awkwardly as you're mining or digging or doing whatever you're doing, and they just kind of stare at you.
Or get in your way.
Yeah, or get in your way. But they at least level up whenever you're doing these tasks. So, as Keith said, once they get to level 2, you can pick what they specialize in, whether it's gardening, digging, foraging, fishing, farming.
Mining.
I don't know if I said that one. Okay. But anytime they level up, if you have them hang out with you while you're doing that specific task, like if you have someone who's good at mining and you're mining, they have a chance to double the rewards of the things you're getting. Rinse and repeat. It's a very simple game. It's super relaxing. A very low bar of danger. So it's, as Keith said, the most fun you'll have bored. But yeah, Keith, you did it wrong. If you want an easy way, the max level they get up to is level 10. Make everyone gardening. Gardening is the easiest thing to level up. Because if you're mining, there's only maybe 10 nodes you can kind of mine, and you have to wait for them to respawn and rinse and repeat. But if you're farming, you can get anyone up to level 10 within no time. I almost have every character like as on my game almost level 10. I did one of each first, so if I do want someone's specialty in foraging or mining, I have that person. But yeah, everyone's farming, everyone's level 10, super easy to level up.
See, I didn't even take it as that they leveled up fast. Well, I thought they did, but the more I looked at it, I don't think they level up faster with that activity.
They do. If you notice, whenever you have them, if you do it any random activity, they have a 1 star. That's the XP. But if you do the activity they're good at, it shows like 5 stars. So it shows that they're getting more XP. It's the same way as when you give them a specialty gift. You can gift anything to anybody. But every day they have something they specifically want. And if you give it to them, it shows a bunch of stars. So it gives extra bonus stars, which is experience points.
Okay. See, I mean, I knew that as far as the special skills, but I guess too, the other kind of obvious, and why I would have thought mining, aside of the node count, like you said, is that if you can pretty much garden infinitely, and it's probably the easiest way to make money too, because that was another. It's like I say it's a gripe, but it's like. It's a hard balance, because if I got too much money, then I'd fly through everything in this game, and then it would actually be not fun and boring. But it almost hits a point where I was like, I can never get enough money, enough resources. It's just like everything sloped super quickly on the count of things you needed to have. And that was kind of my one gripe about the gameplay. It was like, I'm going along, completing this. And then I met Moana, and she's like, hey, you need to build this boat. I need 100 of everything. And like the fiber? You can get fiber by getting seaweed, by fishing for it, getting 1 or 2 at a time if you have a fishing person with you. My goodness, is that tedious.
No, have you not gotten to Minnie's? I think
I
Minnie,
haven't yet.
Her mission at like level 7, she wants you to build a freaking clock tower, and she wants like 200 of everything. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah, this game hits some serious walls. Oh, you are probably lucky. So me and Liz played this when it first came out. There was a moment where the game straight up locked you out. Like, you literally could not do anything.
Oh, the Scrooge mission?
No, it's the Mother Gothel mission. when you activate her, she releases a curse on the village and literally locks everyone in the house. So literally you can't go in anyone's houses. You can't do anything. You need to get dream shards or something like that. They at least patched it and made it easier to get the shards. But when me and Liz played it, that wasn't a thing. And so this game is a little bit more, from what I've seen people describe it as, a bit more like Animal Crossing, in which Animal Crossing actually plays with physical days. So when something in Animal Crossing says, oh, it takes a day to build, it means, no, you need to play the game tomorrow and it'll be done. And this game kind of works that way too. Like there's some ingredients that come back in 24 hours. So you kind of get locked out on some of this stuff, in which they don't explain that to you. So
yes, they do.
Oh, they did? I didn't catch that.
I don't think it goes into detail about all of the ingredients or things like that. I don't know to that. But I remember very early on that it mentioned something about the characters operate kind of on their own little timeline of however they flutter around the village. But the game itself is built on your actual time. And I figured that out too because of the daily conversations. You couldn't get those conversations to re-trigger until I signed on the next day. And that was kind of where I put it together, that was how it worked. But it's a little confusing because day and night happens in the game, but I don't know, the days are 24 hours. It's kind of weird.
When it comes to respawning things, though, there are issues with the game. So not just the dream shards, which I could not get until they had the patch. And there was a lot of people complaining online. And I'm glad they fixed that because the game was unplayable, for me at least. But I noticed that I had a mission that I had to pick flowers with the mini. I got 2. Every single day, I went and tried to pick flowers with the mini because you need a specific flower. They would not spawn. They still will not spawn. This is weeks later. And then I also got, I needed 5 emeralds. I went and played, and you get them in 2 places. I already knew this when I got the mission because I've gotten this before where I need emeralds. So I went there, nothing was appearing. So I was like, I'll just have a mining day because you always need things for people for crafting. I got 15 garnets in a row. I would not get anything else. So I turned off the mission. I started getting other jewels finally. Still no emeralds. But I at least started finding other things. And if you look at it from a statistical probability, the chance of getting 15 garnets in a row from all the places on the entire map, that was the only thing it would allow me to get because it was selected that I needed a different gem. That is stupid. That is not it's well, no, because it's not, what's that word?
It's cheating.
No. It's not chance that happens. Like if you look at the probability, what?
The random number generator.
Yeah, if you have a 1 out of whatever chance of getting a garnet. By the way, I have been mining for weeks, because I've been playing this game for forever. This only happens when you're specifically looking for a gem. I never gotten more than 5 garnets in a day, and now I'm getting 15. So there's definitely some issues. And I know it's early access, but it's just first the dream shards, then this, Minnie's flowers. It's just I know they're like, oh, we're adding this, we're adding that. It's well, why don't you fix the problems that you already have?
I mean, they are.
I can't proceed with that mission. I can't get rid of the watering can to get rid of the mushrooms. I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying these are kind of bugs that affect gameplay. Yeah. I can't proceed with 2 of the big missions. So it's it's kind of same with the dream shards. Andrew was locked out and the dream shards weren't appearing. These are actually really big, I don't want to play this until it's fixed kind of thing.
I love how lame this game sounds. I'm picking flowers with Minnie here and I can't find these flowers. What the heck, game? But this is one thing that I love about Disney Dreamlight Valley. Gameloft did such a fantastic job, I think, giving breadcrumbs. So, yes, I agree, Liz. There are so many times where I'm I need to do this objective, and I can't. It's just not spawning for me, and I can't get it. But there's so many characters, and they all give you missions. I would just stop and do something else. And this is the thing, too. Anytime I sign on to this game, it's super easy to start and stop this game. Because, well, I say it's easy to start. I found it hard to stop because it was always one thing after another. I finished that. I'm like, oh, now I need to do this. Now I need to do this. Now I need to do this. Because a task would instantly show up in the top left of your screen. Like, you can only track one mission at a time. But as soon as you're done with the mission, boom, there's the next mission. And I'm like, well, I got to do this. I gotta start collecting sticks.
Well, I would do it until I got to an annoying mission. And then I was like, oh, this is a good place to stop.
We'll see a little bit of that, but where it would get me, and I'm guessing probably similar to you, Andrew, is and probably you too, Liz. But yeah, I would complete one and be like, in the process of doing the other one, I had already collected half of the next mission already. And I was like, well, I guess I might as well. And then you just carry on halfway through the next one and then the next one.
Well, that's why with like the flowers, if you need flowers for a particular mission, just have a flower day. Just go around picking all the flowers, make a chest for them. Because especially there's like certain ones, like what is it, like the white daisy or something, and the daffodils, like not daffodils, dandelions. You need certain ones over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It's the same with like you always need mushrooms, always collect certain type of fish, especially for recipes. Because I don't know if we mentioned this, but there is cooking.
Yeah.
So I mean, there is just so much of collecting the same thing. And same with farming. There are certain things that you farm that you get more money from. And so I'm farming the same things. I'm fishing for the same things.
Yeah, there's always something that needs to be done.
I also want to point out that this is like some of the worst farming in a game like this. And
it's not great.
Because like when you start farming, your character just randomly stops and then inches and then does like 3 and then like stops and then inches for a couple. It is so janky. There's no upgrading, so you can't just like, you know, I mean, you can water like a pretty big area, but you're not upgrading your watering can. You're not making farming any easier, and the farming is bad. So for me, oh my gosh, I thought that was a bug. For me, having played so many games like this, and like for instance, Stardew, I put so much time into Stardew. And the farming didn't get boring for me for a couple years of my life that I was playing this game. And for me, like, I feel like I'm sounding very negative. I wish
people can't tell. Liz loved this game.
I feel like if we recorded this a couple weeks ago when we first played it for the podcast, I was raving about it.
Yeah, literally listen to our side quest episode without Keith, and Liz was like, Disney, yay!
This is amazing. But you know what? I will say, like, it is fun to do. Like, the fishing is fun. Like, it's very simple. But these things are all great, but when you play a certain amount of it, that's when things really start to like poke at you. And they're adding more content, and it's just like, I'm gonna keep farming the same stuff when the farming is this bad. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't think I want to play anymore.
Yeah, like, there's so many, I want a sprinkler system.
There's so many better farming games. I mean, I know this isn't a farming game, but
yeah.
But it's like that with fishing. Like, it's not really challenging. It's not like, I mean, there's better games that had like better fishing options, and the cooking's all right. But you can't do like batches though. That's another thing. They can't even get the cooking right. You can't do like, I can't cook 10 salads. I have to cook them individually. Like, I can do like, the repeat, so I have to hit 2 buttons over and over and over and over and over again.
2 buttons. No.
But that's like, or you could just put 30. Like, so for me, it's just like, if you're not going to improve upon things, make them good.
Like I said, this game's in preview. I'm sure a lot of this is going to get fixed.
And that's kind of my biggest thing. And I'm going to say something controversial, and I would like to be able to finish the statement before I get yelled at for it. But this game suffers a little bit from what Graveyard Keeper suffered from, and what Graveyard Keeper fixed, and that's where I wanted to prevent getting yelled at, is that they added automation to a lot of things with like the zombie patch or whatever it was, if I remember.
But you had to pay for that, though.
True. This is a valid point, but the fact, or at least the point still exists, is that a little bit of automation to the farming or the foraging, anything. Like, if it was just getting a character up to level 10 and then they could pick up to a certain amount of things a day, they could farm up, mine up to a certain amount of things per day. It would.
But then what do you do?
Well,
that's the game.
But
the farming, the fishing.
But I'm not saying they do all of it. I'm saying that you might get 1 garnet and a topaz from them a day. Like, you're getting 2 things. You're not getting all of the things you need. It's like the sea monkeys in Subnautica. They just bring you little bits here and there, just enough to help you out, and hopefully they don't add vehicles in this game so Liz can't run the characters over.
Wow,
but
okay.
Take that, Mickey.
But you know what? I disagree, because this game is all about grinding and getting stuff. And if you're taking that away, and if you're doing like a little bit here and there, that doesn't help me with the crappy farming. That doesn't help me with the inability to cook multiple meals at once. So for me, like I don't think Graveyard Keeper suffered from anything. I think it was I enjoyed every second of that. Do you know what? I think if you're comparing like the actual like gameplay and doing things, Graveyard Keeper far surpasses this game.
Well,
I can tell you guys actually remember a lot from it.
There is some automation in this game. Moana fishes for you.
Oh,
Wally farms for you. Yeah, okay. So there is some automation to this game.
All right.
But I don't need any of their stuff, though. I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's nice when she gives seaweed, so then you can feed the turtles and stuff. But now that you get all the Dreamlight, you don't really have to worry about feeding the animals.
Yeah.
So I don't know. What do you guys think about collecting the memories? Did you guys actually get interested when the memories came up, or like little picture pieces?
No. There's a lot. So memories are these random shards that appear whenever you do whatever. So whether you're picking up sticks, whether you're farming, whether you're mining, whatever, a random colored orb will drop and you pick it up, and it gives you a fragment of a scene from a Disney property. So like you'll be assembling a picture from The Little Mermaid or Wall-E or Wreck-It Ralph, like even characters that aren't in the game yet. You're just getting these snippets, but that's all it seemed to really be, is I'm just unlocking, like you need a good 8 pieces per scene, and I think there's like 150 scenes, so there's an absurd amount. So I haven't completed a single like random memory. There's some memories that you obviously do for story, but as far as these go, it's like I have no interest. Like, ooh, I see a picture of Ariel playing with a fork. Like, why did I just waste so much time doing that? I don't care. But that's just one thing that's nice about it, though. There is just so much you're unlocking and doing while you're playing the game, because there's this currency you're getting called like Dreamlight. It's Dreamlight.
Moonlight?
No, Moonlight's for the battle pass, which I'll get into that. But you get Dreamlight, which Dreamlight are these random activities. So it's like you have one that are constantly rotating, where it's just like, oh, pick up 2 sticks. They're generally super quick and easy. You get just a couple Dreamlight, but they're infinite. Then you have the more bigger milestone ones. Collect 100 sticks, fish 100 times, and you get a lot of that. That currency used to unlock new characters, new sections of the map, so on and so forth. And then surprisingly too, which this like really caught me off guard, like I said, Gameloft is a mobile game developer. So it's like, crap, this game's gonna be riddled with microtransactions. No, surprisingly not. There is a battle pass, which currently is Pixar theme. When I started off, it gave me enough currency to get the battle pass for free, plus additional 1,000 or so. Did you get that, Keith?
Yeah,
I didn't, because I think you
guys like share Game Pass or whatever.
Yeah,
but yeah, so, I got that little perk.
Yeah, so you get a battle pass to unlock, once again, typical cosmetics, things you can put in your house, maybe costumes for your characters, a typical battle pass. But even if you don't buy their currency, the game still gives it to you. When you're playing, every 24 hours when you go back to your game, you'll find random chests that will actually give you the premium currency for free. So you can actually just get the premium currency just from playing the game anyway. So I did not see anything locked behind any sort of transaction wall, which is very surprising, and I loved it.
You can buy the currency, right? It's just you don't really need to.
No.
Unless you just like want to have everything right away, or get everything at the end if you didn't get it, I guess maybe. But yeah, I agree. I thought that was kind of nice. I was like, do I do it? I don't know. I don't know if I'll ever come back to this, but yeah, I went for it, and I thought it was a pretty nice surprise to see a game that wasn't going to just nickel and dime you for everything you do.
Especially Disney property.
But maybe that's just it. I mean, maybe they just know that people are going to buy it, or that they'll just play it, and especially without the pay. I don't know, which seems really weird, because you could argue that for a lot of companies, and they don't do that. So
that's true. Activision.
Well, I was going to go back too, because I wanted to agree with you, Liz, and I know it's crazy. As far as like, there's so many little like double-edged swords to this game that it's weird, because I agree with you. I want to be able to cook more of the grilled fish. I want to do 10 fruit salads at once, because it's stupid to just cook a banana, cook a banana, cook a banana, cook a banana. So I want that, but I will also offer your same counterpoint. what's the point of the game if I can just collect 100 bananas and then just make 100 fruit salads? There's no grind. There's no things. So I'm not saying I don't want it. I'm just saying.
Oh, and I'm just saying that there are different reasons for cooking. There are cooking things to sell, which why would you grind for that when you can also just farm or whatever? And then there is cooking for somebody. So if they are like they want something that day, it's like their favorite thing, or for the restaurant if somebody wants something, then I just do one. But if I have like way too much of an ingredient and I just want to sell it because it's more money as a recipe, like it makes sense to be able to do that. And so for me, it's like same with like the farming, like you can make it so that you can have like a bigger area of farmland. Like there are ways to do it. And for me, like especially because like I said earlier, this game is really big, but it feels small because there's so little to do in one area. So if like there's no way I'm gonna have a huge farm when the farming is this bad. Like there are ways that they could fix that. And it's the same with like, collecting things. Like you unlock a new area and then you're just like, oh wow, there's 5 new things in here. That's nice.
The farming did not bother me that much.
Yes. That's why I don't know. See, that's where again and I'm really not trying to argue, but that's where I think the automation would be. And I know you said, Andrew, that there's some of it, but I think just like a deeper level of it. That I could be like, okay, I've just got 100 bananas. I'm just going to tell Goofy to just go cook fruit salads all day with my 100 bananas, and he's just going to disappear. But like, I don't know. So I get what you're saying. I don't know, it's weird because I dislike the inability to do multiple, but I loved the autofill feature. Like with cooking in games, the ability to just not have to filter through all my ingredients, just pick the recipe and just go fill.
But sometimes
so
they pick the ingredients that you don't want. So if you have a recipe that has 4 different ingredients, if it shows vegetable, if you put in a lettuce, they might use something that you need for another recipe. It's more important with like the fish that are hard to get. So there are certain recipes that you can only use a specific type of fish. So they're even doing the autofill wrong. So that's why for me, it's like I think just have the ingredients the exact same, so you're not autofilling if you're doing the wrong ingredients and I need them. So I think that needs to be improved too.
I think it just comes with quality of life. Like they could it would be them putting something in place that like naturally selects like the lowest ingredient necessary for it or something along those lines. But because like another quality of life thing that drove me nuts was bag management.
Yeah.
I not having a sort feature on there. And I don't even care if it sorts it in any organized fashion. I just want it so that the end of my bag is empty. And you can't easily move things around without dropping things, picking them up. It's kind of a pain in the butt to do bag management, storage management. Gosh. And that is one of my biggest gameplay gripes that doesn't really matter because it doesn't ultimately change the game and it doesn't make it that much harder. It's just annoyed me.
See, that didn't bother me that much.
What?
And do you know what's funny?
Playing Grounded
we played this before we were playing Grounded again. Now that we're playing Grounded again, which I hope it's not going to be the same situation where I'm like loving Grounded. I'm saying it on the podcast. Like I don't think I'm going to get sick of it though.
You're like, I'm sick of this.
No, I don't think I'm going to get sick of it. But I am so spoiled right now with like going up to a chest and doing like autofill. It is so great. So
my time in Porsche did it really well too.
I agree with you, Keith, that would be absolutely fantastic for this game. But the bag space really didn't bother me because, I mean, you go to your house, you get energy for free anyways, and then you can like design your house, or you can go back and be like, I'll cook because I'm just going to go back to the house anyways. So it never actually bothered me because there was always something to do in that area.
Oh, the space wasn't so much of an issue. It was really just on how you managed it. And I felt like I never had control over organization of my bag. And that's so important in games like this that I was just like, I never knew what I was carrying. Things are very hit or miss on like, you can cook from anywhere from your ingredients. You can leave them, well, everywhere but on the ground, basically. You can pull that ingredient and cook with it, but your seeds have to be on you. It will tell you that you have 50 softwood for a recipe, but if you're not holding them, you can't turn them in. Like, it's just...
Yeah, it was very hit or miss.
It's wonky things like that all it is just quality of life, simple fixes. I'm not complaining about it, but I would love to see those things fixed.
See, is that just you not like thinking ahead though? Like, not to be rude, but like for me, I never had that problem where it's
rude.
like, no, because it's like if I know I need like 50 softwood for a mission that I have up, I'm going to have it on me. And no offense, Andrew, but playing Grounded with you can't organize a chest to save your life.
No.
The only reason why we have a chest for bug parts,
I'll admit that I'm thoughtful
creed
at it.
items and stuff.
Same.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think it's like a quality of life thing. I think it's just like pay attention to what you're doing and organize. Like,
no, I mean, I fully agree with Keith saying. No, cause
you
like,
would.
Well, yeah, because both are against you. No, I see what Keith's saying.
No,
where,
I
like,
meant because
wish
you
a
suck
button-
at organizing.
Well, but I really like just the fact to have all your items consolidate themselves to the upper part of your bag, so you're not randomly with these items that are randomly.
Oh,
assorted
I agree
right
with
now.
that.
That's what Keith's talking about. That's what I totally agree. That's what
Oh.
annoys me. It's like, yeah, I wish there was a button I could do just to consolidate everything to be within the first 2 rows instead of just spattered
I
everywhere.
mean, I'd like that. I don't think it's necessary. I think that it makes way more sense to do it that way, and it's much easier and nicer. But yeah, it still didn't bother me.
So I feel like we've
It's
been
just
playing about this
something-
game for 40 minutes now.
It's something that's
But we love it.
I'm not complaining about this. Though.
I'm just saying it's
Finally.
something that games like this all have that feature. And I will agree with you, Liz. It is poor planning on my part, and it's not hard to go back. So it's even not a complaint. It's just one of those things that I would like it to be more consistent, in that if I need to turn in 50 of an item, don't show me that I have it to turn in if I have to have it physically on my person. It's not, like I said, it's not a huge thing. It's more just like it's a weird like interface thing that they do. That's all.
All right, so let's get into this a bit more of, well, what do we like about this game? Because I do feel like we're complaining about it. People are probably wondering why we spent so much time. So you guys were talking about how awful the automation is. So what would you play for the game? What I loved are the characters. And I think the biomes that you unlock, the worlds that you go to, they're very short, unfortunately. But I think they're cool. So like when you go to the Wally world, you have to like help them dig up some of the dirt and find some items. You know, when you go to the Frozen world, you actually have to help her calm down the certain spirits. Like, you have these certain events and activities that are going through. They're well made. The music's great. Those moments, I think, are a lot of fun. There's just, unfortunately, there's only like 5 at the moment. They're adding more soon. Like, I know Toy Story is coming out soon. Scar, I don't think he's having a world, but I think he's going to be added soon.
Well, he's going to be probably that Lost Plains area.
Yeah.
There's the elephant graveyard. It's like the Sahara.
Yeah,
See,
he's coming out
really
soon.
Agree with you with all the characters and everything, but for me, like, I actually loved the gameplay at the beginning. Like, everything I'm talking about that I hate, like, I always hated like how the farming went, but I enjoyed farming and fishing. I enjoyed all the things, but it got too grindy at a point. Like, I actually, I love looting. I mean, this game is all about gathering stuff as you're walking about.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just like the game is going to be so long. Like, they're even adding more. At what point do you like spice it up and like make it so that I have to like work for something other than just like collecting mushrooms all day? So it's like I sound negative, but I loved it at the beginning. You can't have a game. Well, I mean, obviously they can, but having a game this long with the same gameplay, the entire thing without upgrading and stuff, it's just like it's gonna feel like a long game.
Well, that's what it needs. Is it just needs a way for you to scale better with the grinding, because you can grind without having it feel tedious.
Yeah.
And this game feels tedious because no matter what happens, you pick up one pack of sticks, one pack of sticks, one pack of sticks, one flower. Yeah, you might get a couple if you have the right character with you. I think occasionally, like 1 in 40 or whatever, you get like a little burst of 6 of them. But realistically, it's 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And so then if you need 200 of them, that's a lot. And then you need 200 of 5 items. Holy crap. That's a lot of grinding. That's where you need someone else to be collecting. You need to be able to collect more than one. It's upgrading. And
But again, what do you do though if you're not collecting them? That's why I'm like, I feel like they need to change the gameplay though. Like they need to add something.
You're just not collecting it for 6 hours on one mission. You're doing it for an hour, and it's happening a little quicker. That's all it's doing. Is it's not making it feel tedious with the grind.
I think it just needs more variety. It needs something else. That it needs to add something.
But as I said kind of at the beginning, I think the thing that makes Disney Dreamlight Valley so good, and it's like it's honestly one of the top of the class, is how relaxing and simple this game is. This was a pinnacle of a game where if we only wanted to pop in for 5-10 minutes, our daughter's running around, we want to distract her with something, you could play this game. It's very little risk. Like I said, I would put it on. She would see Disney characters. Oh, yay. It would distract her a little bit. She always loved to see me just play. Every once in a while, she would ask to take the controller. And I had no issue handing her the controller. She'd wander around, maybe pick up some stuff for me. Sometimes throw stuff on the ground from my bag. Would not care.
She liked the dinosaur. That's what it was. It was not even a dinosaur, but she would call it a dinosaur. Yeah, the alligator.
There's a little alligator we have as a pet that fall around. She got so excited
about. That's all she wanted.
But it was just like, this is so good about this game. It's great to have with kids. You as an adult can play it and actually have fun, and your kids will enjoy to watch it, or even your kids might even play it. It might be a little bit difficult for younger kids. Like our daughter's 3, and yeah, she doesn't know what's going on. She can't read, so she doesn't know the story. There's very little dialogue. The characters only say like one word, but she would at least still have fun walking around, would get excited seeing Mickey or Maui or Moana. Like it was just, that's what's so good about this game. It's very relaxing. Nothing to worry about. You don't have to worry about your kid destroying your items or anything like that.
So maybe it's not meant to be like binge played.
It's not.
So I think maybe that's like the problem that we had, that the game was just so fun and good that we just overdid it.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all my fault.
Well, one of my favorite things about what the characters is the dialogue. And it's kind of going to what you're saying, is there's no consequences to really anything you do.
Yeah.
So
you can be mean.
Sassy.
Ooh.
Every time
I'm not surprised.
Mickey would say something about like Goofy. I'm like, I don't know. Goofy's not really good at anything, is he? I don't think it was exactly that. I thought I had taken a couple screenshots of him, but yeah, there's just these like choices.
What did they say back?
Terrible. They're just like, oh, okay. Well, anyways, Goofy's my best friend.
How do you do that? Especially with like Minnie around. I would feel like a monster.
Oh, I think at one point I made fun of him because he missed Minnie or something. I was like, yeah.
Oh my
Get
word.
a life, Mickey.
Pretty much. It's like, I don't know. I'm sure she's fine.
It's the same when you talk to the villains, because the villains are like, oh, I want power. And like, yeah, usually one of the options is like, oh, we should all be friends. And the other one's like, yeah, power's good. Let's control everyone. I would always pick that. I'm like, yeah, okay. But yeah, there's no consequence. I actually think, I couldn't quite confirm because I can't do the other options. I think depending what you pick, the characters might get extra experience points. So if you pick something they like, they might.
I think in some cases, at least, like I'm pretty sure on the daily discussions, because there's one in particular I can think of with Scrooge, where it's like some quote I think that goes back to like his show, or back to DuckTales, something about smarter than the Smarties, whatever. And it's like you go through, and if you don't answer it right, they're like, oh, well, anyways, have a good day. But you can like go through 3 or 4 sequences and answer all the questions right, and then I think you get a bonus.
I wanted to ask, so there was one where Ursula asked you to steal paper, and I ended up saying no, like I'm going to ask for it. So like would I got more experience if I was like, yeah,
well, did you still have to steal it in the end? Because I said I would steal it and I stole it.
Well, no, they said like the villagers would leave it in their house, and so I went to their house and I took it, but it's not stealing because they knew about it. So I wonder if Ursula would give you more points if you went the evil route.
I don't know. That's what's difficult because it's like no way to kind of confirm. Oh. But one thing that's nice. So like I said, there are some slight dialogue when you walk around. You hear some characters kind of speaking a little bit, and the voice acting. I don't know if you saw, Keith, on IMDb, but they actually got some of the actors. So specifically, they actually got Patton Oswalt to do Remy from Ratatouille.
Okay. I thought he sounded very, very good.
I mean, yeah, Patton Oswalt is a very distinct voice. So
Maui was different, right?
Maui was different.
Yeah.
I think Moana might have been the same voice actress. Oh, Ursula is actually the same voice actress, which is very good and surprising because she just recently died.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is the same original woman. So this is... Yeah, her last...
I wonder if it was a pay thing. Because it's only a couple lines.
I don't know. Because I feel like The Rock isn't too expensive.
He's like... He has like his own energy company. He's in a billion movies.
He owns the XFL.
That's true.
No, I'm surprised he's not a billionaire right now with all the stuff that he has going on.
He's probably not far. I think you're probably...
It's very possible. I don't know.
Kristen
Patton
Bell
Oswalt, I'm
would
sure,
be
can't be that cheap.
expensive.
I would think Patton
Kristen Bell
Oswalt's
would be
probably
expensive.
cheaper
Yeah,
than...
the Kristen Bell and I forget who plays...
Idina Menzel?
Yeah, they were not original voice actors in this one, unfortunately. Which I think is actually... I think theirs is pretty awful. I could actually kind of...
I haven't talked to them much. I just got them.
But yeah, so the voice acting's kind of hit or miss because some of them are original voice actors. I think Goofy's like the original voice actor too. But so they got on some of them, but not all of them. But surprisingly, it still does... a lot of them do a good job, though, at least impersonating the original person. But the music, I actually think, is surprisingly entertaining. There actually is an option for... Which I thought was weird. There's an option for streamer version. So if you stream this game, it'll get rid of the copyright music. But it's kind of weird because it's... I didn't think this music... The music's not exact. It just has some tones. So you can kind of hear and you're like, oh, this kind of sounds like the Frozen song. Oh, this kind of sounds like the Moana song. But it's not exact. So that's why I was kind of surprised. I was like, this is copyright?
It's
but I think
way
copyright
close
can be... Copyright can be very finicky. And I actually think it's really nice of them to do that. I mean, obviously they want people to stream their game.
Yeah.
Because, more people viewing, more people playing. But I think that's really nice of them.
I just never... So this is a thing I don't understand about games and streaming and all of this. Why do games put... Like, why, if you own the rights to play the game, do you not have the rights to stream it? It's a stupid thing. I hate that concept. I get it. I can't listen to, like, anything I want on Spotify of copyrighted music. But if it is in and part of the game, it should be able to be streamed. That's just the whole side gripe I have. But
because it's kind of weird. Because if you played, like, Guitar Hero or something like that, I think you're fine. But it's like, I don't know.
Well, that goes back to the weird, probably, issues of copyright laws. But I'm just like... It's bizarre to me, but again, I don't know the ins and outs of copyright law. Obviously, I will say those songs they're all very recognizable. There was maybe like one or two that took me a second of like, wait a minute, and it was like an old school Disney song being redone, like not "It's a Small World," but something like that. Versus like when it's playing the Moana song. It's very distinctly the Moana song. It's different tone, tempo, all of the things, but it's distinct.
I just realized, like, not to go back a little bit, but you said Scar's coming?
Yeah.
He's a murderer.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's weird to me. Because, I mean, obviously, like, Ursula and Mother Gothel, whatever her name is.
Gothel.
Like, brothel. Whatever her name is.
Mother Grovel.
They did very bad things, but like this is an actual murderer in your village.
I mean, have you seen Tangled? And I'm not even trying to get like smart with you because
I've never seen Tangled.
She is a would-be murderer. Not to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't seen Tangled and has really been itching to.
Very upset.
So I thought it was Rapunzel.
Spoiler alert.
Is Rapunzel and Tangled the same thing?
It is. The movie's just called Tangled. But that said, Mother Gothel attempts to murder and would have succeeded had the Rapunzel's magic not brought her boyfriend back to life. So, so Mother Gothel would be a murderer. Ursula absolutely murdered King Triton, so she's a murderer.
I haven't seen the whole movie since I was like a little kid.
Wait, did she? I don't think she actually killed him, did she?
I thought she threw a spear through his heart or something. No. I could have sworn she did. Or at the very least, she tried to kill Ariel. Again, I mean, at the very least, they are attempted murderers.
I need to watch more Disney movies because I don't know any of this.
It's been a while. I forgot about that.
Oh, so that's wild because it's just like, why would you let them in?
People can change.
Because they're already back to doing bad things. Ursula's asking you to steal. Like, there's a reason why murderers get put in prison and they're not allowed to just hang out in villages.
It's kind of funny, though, because she's like, I'm not trying to actually take over everything. So I don't really get what her angle is, because she wasn't trying to do the forgetting. She didn't want to do all the real bad stuff. She just wants to be, like, kind of bad, but not, like, movie bad. No murders in the game.
I don't know. That's weird. Which, sorry, I interrupted. Graphics are kind of nice. I like them. I like the different areas, but for me,
biomes, some of them looked too similar. The camera angle, I will say, sucks. When you start going to the forest, your camera goes into trees like crazy. and there's no way to zoom in or out. So you're just constantly fighting trees. What I actually did, so in this game, you can actually move just about anything. I literally moved all the trees to the edge. So it's a forest, but all the trees are literally shoved in a corner just because I got so sick of dealing with them with my camera.
That's a good point. I was going to say the camera angles on building are god awful. That was driving me nuts.
Yeah, but overall, though, I agree, Liz. The graphics are really good. I think exploring the castle, the character designs are really good looking. Going, like I said, to each different biome that was designed for the characters actually looks really cool. They do a really good job with the Disney characters. Some of the characters kind of creepy. Like I don't think Mickey and Minnie ever blink, so they kind of just stare at you with these cold dead eyes that are kind of disturbing. But that's just a minor gripe.
Do any of them blink? I've never looked long enough. No, I don't know. I
just know Mickey and Minnie were very noticeable because their eyes
are big eyes.
Yeah, they're half the size of their body.
Yeah. Checks out.
And not to complain again, but the achievements, they suck.
Oh,
they are so grindy.
Yeah,
and this isn't me saying they're not fun or whatever. Like
these achievements are almost criminal. They're
not even fun. They're not. Literally.
I didn't want to be the one to say it. Andrew, you got score 325.
Which I can't believe I have that much achievements.
The time that you put into this, though, that is outrageous. Yeah. You got 5 out of, I think, maybe 15. And then, Keith, you got 1 with score 25. I got 1 with score 75, but I actually didn't deserve it. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
So how did you get 1 for 75 and not the one I got?
What was the one that you got?
I just took 50 pictures. I just mashed A.
Oh, no, I didn't look at the achievements because Andrew told me they were awful. No, I got 1 for unlocking all the biomes.
Yeah, it glitched for her.
Did I unlock them all now, though?
No, you got the achievement for building Goofy's stand in every biome, which you did not. So,
okay.
Since me and Liz are playing on the same Xbox, it glitched. So it just counted how many Goofy stalls were built. And since me and her are playing, it combined in them. And
I might have by now, though.
Maybe. But yeah, the achievements are really bad. So, as we said, the main currency in the game is called Star Coins, which is just typical coins. There's an achievement to get 1.8 million coins. Like, I don't know how this game thinks the economy is, but that is a crazy amount. I'm actually 44% of the way there. I've played way too much of this game.
Wow.
But it's just 1.8 million coins. You need to get 15 best friends, which that's maxing out people to level 10, which I don't even think there's 15 characters at the moment.
I don't know if you should be proud or embarrassed.
There's remove 3,000 night thorns. That is like thorns will only spawn every 24 hours. And even when you unlock all the biomes, you're maybe getting 10. There's maybe 10 in all those biomes. So yeah, get at 3,000, catch 1,800 fish for 75 gamer score. Like these achievements are criminal. These are really awful achievements. Do 1,000 daily discussions. That's what we were talking about. Every day you can talk to every character once for bonus points. You got to do that 1,000 times for 50 gamer score.
Yeah, right now that means you would have to, if you have every character unlocked, which I think there's 17, 10 days would be 170. So like you're talking like 2 straight months of playing every day, talking to every character to get that achievement. That's a lot.
Yeah, so this game, the Gameloft clearly is thinking that people are going to be playing this game for years. You're going to be checking in for years and just work on those.
Here's my counterpoint to that, though. We're talking, like I said, we're talking about 17 characters. If in 6 months from now there's 75 characters, yeah, that's still a lot. But you could effectively do that in like a 2-week span. And so, then there's 75 characters. They unlock more items that you can sell for better currency. Like all of these things are really what I was going back to with the scaling of the game and you said it perfectly, Andrew, is it comes to the economy of it. Is right now the economy of the game does not really justify 2 million coins because I don't know what the most expensive thing you can sell, but I think the best I could find was like 1,500 on a shiny diamond or like a shiny gem.
Vegetables is how you do it. Okay. Selling cucumbers I think is like one of the best because when you harvest cucumbers you get 3 every time you pick it up.
Okay.
I might be thinking of a different vegetable. But each one sells for like 50 coin. So when you're picking 3 up, it's 150.
Okay. But my point remains is that
it's still not 1.8 million.
You still go back to if you get 150 for selling one crop, if you do that, 100 times over, you're still not even touching a million.
No.
And it's just an absurd number that they need to figure out better scaling. And I'm just going to go right ahead and cruise on into my summary right now because I feel like that's where I'm going.
Go right ahead.
I think that Disney Dreamlight Valley right now is awesome. I just think it needs to be built out better. It's missing the scalability that just makes it feel more tedious than it feels grinding. So while I like it, I like the characters and the development and all of the things that come along with it. I just want it to feel less like I'm walking around and talking to characters than I am actually doing something in the game. So I think it's fantastic. Unless you like hate Disney, if you have any shred of liking Disney, I think it touches something that it's worth playing. If you like Stardew Valley, My Time at Portia, any of those games, this is worth picking up. It's not the best one that's ever been made, but I think it's still worthy of a solid 85. And it could go up if they improve on a lot of the little quality of life things that I take issue with.
Yeah. So I agree with a lot of what you said there, Keith. It's right now, Disney Dreamlight Valley is. I was having a lot of fun with it. Like I said, this game was just so perfect for a relaxing game. It also is one of those games that's so relaxing that makes you fall asleep. So if I had a rough day at work and I'm tired, I could actually play it and it would keep my mind busy enough that I wouldn't fall asleep. But I never felt stressed. It was super relaxing just to go work on some random tasks, talk to these characters. They did a great job at the characters in the dialogue that you are dealing with them. It's the stories themselves are nice. The overall story kind of bland, but yeah, I think within a couple months or so, this game will look so drastically different and it'll be just a lot of fun. But yeah, this was a perfect game just to play in front of my kids, give the controller to them, let them try it a little bit. I'll take it back. I could actually have a lot of enjoyment with it. I wish there was some sort of co-op element to it. Hopefully they'll come out with that too. But from what is here for an early access game, I think is very solid. There is still a lot of bugs that need to be fixed, camera issues and whatnot, but I had a lot of fun. But for me, I think I'm just going to give it a solid 80 because it is just the game is a grind, which isn't bad. If you are looking for a grindy game, great. This is something that's a lot of fun and easy. But if you want more meat on the game, you might want to wait.
You know, a thought I had, and I'm just I'm gonna jump in real quick because I had this thought earlier, and you were talking about like for kids, if they really wanted to make this game more kid friendly, if there was just some accessibility mode where basically just you didn't have to select the tool for something and you could just hit X, like that's all it would be. I feel like you could just walk up to a plant, hit X, and it would dig the plant or kind of auto select the tool.
Our daughter always recognized when it said A, and she would always hit A on things.
Exactly, like a lot like. It's very easy for kids to recognize buttons and like make those connections, but they don't. It's the scrolling wheel of figuring out how to change things that's difficult. And if they can settle that with like an accessibility mode, I think you could put this game down and a kid would play for an hour straight and have no issues. But anyways, that was just a thought I had. Liz, it's your turn. I'm sorry.
No, I completely agree with you. That's a good point. I might surprise you guys because my score was also an 80, but for me, I really love this game for like I said, the first billion hours that I played. But for me, it's like when it comes to like longevity, like for instance, like when I play Stardew, like I can go back to it and still have fun. I just did not want to play this anymore. I picked it up today and I was just like, nope. And so for me, it's just like I liked it to a point, and I'm optimistic about it. I still recommend it. Like I was gushing over it like not too long ago on the podcast, and I still think like I would recommend it to people. Be like, yeah, it's really fun. It's addicting. I just like for me it did have that wall, and now I just see so much negative in it because I've just I can't anymore. So I would go back to it with like improvements. Like if I read that maybe there were some things that fix some of the things that I really dislike about it. But if it's just like going to be the same but with more added, I wouldn't go back to it. But yeah, the enjoyment that I got out of it was way more than 80. This is, I feel like, combining with my frustrations.
Alrighty. So there you have it, folks. If you made it this far and not tuned us out because we complained, I would say more of Disney Dreamlight Valley. This game is worth your time. It is fun. Just check it out. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this week. If you have any game suggestions, please email us at gamepassgraphic@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at GBGPpod or Facebook at GBGPpod. We always love to hear from our listeners. Thank you all so much for people who... A lot of people like to do suggestions on our Apple iTunes. You don't have to do that, but we greatly appreciate it because we love getting reviews on Apple iTunes. So thank you all so much who have been doing that. Thank you for reviewing us on Spotify. Greatly appreciate it. We always love getting feedback from everyone. I've been your Hardcore Gamers host, Andrew. You can find me on Xbox Live at Firebird01952.
I've been Keith, and... Yep.
You already forgot.
How do you forget something you didn't even know in the first place?
I don't know. We found a way.
And I'm Liz Noob, gamertag Dean, and I'm on Twitter at Liz Noob. Noob is EW.
All right, everyone. Thank you all so much. We love you all. We'll see you again next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.